Welcome back, everybody, to Schmoebates. I know we've been gone for a while, but we couldn't let this year end without another championship tournament, and this is the first match of it. So, I mean, what better co-host to kick this off than Mr. Witney Seibold and that glorious hair?
Oh, well, thank you. This is just a result of waiting for a very nice dye job to grow out. So I'm just lucky that it still looks good. As for who would be a better host, golly, anybody. Why'd you ask me? I'm just some guy, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see what they're going to schmoebate and come to what conclusions everybody's going to come to.
Yeah, I mean, if I knew you were gonna have this hair, I would have invited you on like every single show that we do because it's amazing.
Well, if all it takes is hair, I'd be willing to keep it this way. Although it'll probably rotate in colors at some point. I definitely am living up to my my Los Angeles roots. I look totally like a surfer.
Well, I mean, you said you had it blue in April. I really wish I would have seen that.
Yeah, well, there are pictures. Yeah, I got it done blue. That was everybody during this pandemic has been dyeing their hair wild colors, so I thought I want to do that too. So I got a whole professional job. She put glitter in my hair. It looked really, really wonderful. And now this is here in September what it looks like.
Well, it's still dope. But speaking of pandemic hair jobs, let's go ahead and bring in our competitors. The wonderful, newly green-haired, amazing Mara Knopic.
I love that pandemic hair jobs is like my new intro.
Yeah. And then there's this asshole.
Hey, asshole. Good to see you.
Why was I muted? Why did I have to unmute myself? Don't you have somebody in that studio that's like, then once they muted the guy, then they unmute him?
You muted yourself.
You're making me do work. This is not a good way to start, Jake. You're making me work. It's nice to see Whitney, though.
Oh.
Good to see you, too.
Tonight, Mara's the enemy, so I don't know if I could say the same about you.
You know what? We're all friends here. This is not. This is it's a debate, yes, and there's going to be a winner. But this is a copacetic place. This is where we get to trade ideas. This is an agora, a marketplace where we get to exchange goods, services, and ideas.
Why is there so much room? I need to fix this camera. Like, I don't need that much headroom.
Well, you got a big-ass head.
Whitney, continue. Don't mind me. Whitney, continue the show. Don't mind me.
Oh, yeah, making more references to ancient Greek marketplace. Did you know the word agora is the root of the word agoraphobia?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty trippy, man.
Yeah, if you mention that during your debate, you get 1 extra point.
Why are you like deutsching it up right now? I'm very off kilter with you guys.
Oh yeah,
I like films by Hitchcock. I'm a Hitchcock guy. I mean, it's like a Hitchcock shot.
If you lean with your laptop, it looks like Inception. So, no.
You've been hanging around Bibbs too much, man.
That's all I do.
That's all you can't hang around him too much. He's the
part of my debate technique. I'm trying to sort of hypnotize Mara right now. I'm get her worrying about what's going on behind me, not focusing her brain on the task at hand, which is schmoebating, which I'm the only guy, I'm the greatest at this game who's never won a match. I'm like Wit, except in the Schmoebates.
Damn.
I accept that. That's fine. No, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Your record is not reflective of your talent, Kaiser.
How's the audio? Audio's coming in good?
Audio's good. Kaiser, I know you got an out, so we're gonna try to get through this. Before we get into it, we did get a super chat from Ben Rayner.
Oh, Ben,
hey
look at
guys,
this guy.
can't stay long. Just came to say hi and show my support. Good luck.
Did someone just get choked in the background? What was that?
My son is getting ready for bed.
I see. Do you usually make him run a marathon while being chased by the neighbor? Is that how you put him to sleep?
I think he's quite frustrated by his Roblox game at the moment.
I see. Get him on the show. I want to meet this guy.
That's legit.
He's in the first grade now.
Oh, wonderful. Aww. Okay.
Nice. All right. So like I said, this is our first match of this tournament. Winner of this tournament goes on to play Ben Bateman. Show you what we're looking at here.
Whew, look at that bracket.
Whew. I mean, could be all Dungeon in the final. Could be all Shazam in the final.
Nobody wants to run up against Bibiani. That guy could talk for 4 days.
So are you conceding then?
If you don't want to run up against him, then
Mara,
you
if
might
it
as well
can't be
lose.
me,
Yeah.
if it can't be me, I want it to be you, of course.
That's literally the only two options, so that's great.
Okay. I probably want you more so than me, but I'm gonna give it a go.
I love both of you, but what I wouldn't give to see Bibiani and Video Drew together.
Ooh,
That would be really interesting to me.
That's an exhibition match.
But
winner.
But for that to happen, both of you would have to be knocked out, and that's showing bias right away. And I'm not sure how legit
Now, if
that is.
Bibiani plays
like
against Drew, Whitney, if Bibiani plays against Drew, they're going to have to wager something. So, Bibiani, a suitcase full of soap. Video Drew would have to give him her soul. That's or
the bags of hair that she keeps.
Well, I guess she can keep it. We have so many where there's no room on the shelf anymore, so she can keep it for now and just know that it's ours.
But
shocking that Jake knows she has bags of hair laying around her house because
it's not a secret.
You're a peeping Tom.
It's not a secret.
A professional peeping Tom.
Kaiser.
He's just a fan of the movie.
Look, Kaiser, you've actually seen the Schmoebates belt in person. And you told Ben that you were coming for it. So, Mara, just know he's been thinking about this for a couple weeks now.
Me and my Dutch angle.
Focus for Kaiser.
It is. Ask her. She knows. She knows I can't count to 4 without help from Rachel Silvestrini.
Doesn't surprise me at all. So let's get into the rules for this show. All of y'all have been here before. You do know it, but just for the people who may be new to this. Let me get rid of that banner. Okay. 3 questions will be debated. The winner will be determined by my great co-host and his hair and our ghost judge who's backstage. If there's a tie, we will be putting up a poll, so the audience vote will serve as the tiebreaker. I will be putting that into the chat after each round, and they will be posted on the Call to Action Twitter page. The round format, each person gets a 60-second opening statement that you can't talk over each other, Kaiser. Then there's a 4-minute open debate where you both just go back and forth. And then 60-second closing statements from each competitor. And then our judges will vote and the polls will go live. The final round order will be determined by me flipping the action coin. You have to win 2 rounds to be declared the winner. I mean, that's pretty simple math. And each of you has 1 30-second uninterrupted time extension that you can use at any time. If you want to use it during your opening statement, if you want to stop in the middle of the open debate and say, hey, let me just talk right now. If you want to do it in your closing statements, whenever you can use it, whenever you want, just before the end of the closing statements. Once the polls go live, then you can't use it for that round anymore.
This is our JTE.
Kind of, but not really. You can just.
What's it called? What's the name of it? If I want to call for it,
just say I want my 30 seconds.
I want my 30 seconds.
Yeah.
JTE.
Well, you could say JTE if you want, and I'll take it.
I know you will.
You're in rare form tonight, Kaiser.
All right. So usually we flip a coin.
I'm your manager, for Christ's sakes.
Hey, man, my season's been over since May. You sadly, but you haven't had to manage anything because I'm not going to get a match.
Oh, well, you don't know that. Come on now. I'm trying to fix the focus here on this thing. I think that's better.
Okay, so usually
I need a PA. I need a PA. If any PAs out there want to submit their resume, my email address is kaiserdungeonruler@hafiz.
Okay, so usually we flip a coin beforehand to see who goes first in round 1, but just because I feel like it and I'm running the show right now, Mara, you can choose if you want to go first or second.
So I forget, does this alternate each round?
It will, but round 3, I will flip it again, and then.
Okay, well then
maybe
I will choose to defer to my great manager, Kaiser. He may go first.
Don't start the clock. I'm still focusing the camera. I think I'm going the wrong way on the focus.
Dude, it's okay, man. Soft focus is great for those age lines.
Is it though? All right. So now what's the question?
Okay, Whitney, I'm going to pull it up. you would
right.
like to ask it. My apologies for the helicopters.
No, they're circling
Well,
again.
when you're wanted by the law, Jake, like you most frequently are, especially starting on Thursday to Sunday.
If you fight the law wins. Question 1. Which current rookie would have the most success as a faction manager in the future?
Okay, and
Your
your
first debate.
your time starts.
How much time? How much time do I get?
I just went over this, dude.
1 minute.
1 minute?
1
1
minute.
minute? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And you're losing time. Just go.
No, he didn't start the clock. Start it.
Time starts now.
Now. I would probably choose Brother Lomas, however you choose to say the man's name. We got a lot of things in common. Both of us were kicked out of Catholic school and then found the dark arts. You know what I mean? So we got friends in both places, heaven and hell. So we both like to wear black. Prolific on the microphone. He's probably the best rookie on the mic. I, of course, am the best manager on the mic that ever lived. Brother Lomas is just a dynamic individual. And so I would suggest that you guys, if you need a priest, he's pretty cheap, I hear. So, I mean, and you got to always have you got to have a priest within one phone call away because, you know, you get one of those Emily Rose situations and you're going to want you might have ditched Jesus, but you're going to find God real quick when you need an exorcism.
1. All right.
So much to unpack there.
Yeah. Shut up. Dismiss. Okay.
Counselor.
Okay. Mara, your time starts in 3, 2, 1.
So I'm actually going to pick the dungeon's own John Hoey. So I think there are a lot of characteristics that can make someone a successful manager, but I think that even if he hasn't been seen as much in the Schmoedown, I have seen him a substantial amount of time over the last year in the dungeon. He does have a lot of charisma. He is very likable. However, he has an air for theatricality. He owns a shitload of Star Wars helmets, so he can definitely dress the part, as we've seen some managers like to dress up according to their matches. He also has the ability to be very snarky. He has definitely bit my face off a time or two in a very funny way. So he may not have had a lot of experience on the mic because we have a manager that kind of talks a lot, but that's okay because he can grow into that role. He's also a fantastic coach and a team player. And more than anything else, the dungeon is a family. He would create a family faction of his own that would be a fantastic amount of success for the Schmoedown. So I'm picking John Hoey.
Oh,
all right.
My God. Brings a tear to my eye. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Okay, Whitney, you have initial thoughts?
Well, let's see. We had on the one side, we had somebody talk about team dynamic, forming a family, being a team player. And on the other hand, we had somebody who said they look good in black.
It's very valid.
And these are, equal qualities you want in a manager.
Well, I definitely in this open debate, I want to hear you explain why your pick is better than the other.
Now, I love John Hoey, but this man knows what.
This isn't the debate.
All right, I step down, sir. I plead the fifth.
I'm just saying. I'd like to hear you argue why your pick is better than the other one, and maybe to even dig the knife even deeper, if you have someone else who would also be better than the other competitor's pick. I don't know. Whitney, you got anything else?
No, nothing right now. I will certainly judge for the moment.
Okay. Well, then 4 minutes of open debate. Also, remember, if at any point, damn helicopters, if at any point you want to stop.
Jake, do you live in an Easy Eve music video? Is that where you're broadcasting from right now?
Yes, that's okay. Exactly it. Kaiser.
I'm a huge fan of Easy E.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the open of that movie, NWA movie? It's like,
okay. So, remember you have your JTE 30 seconds, and 4 minutes of open debate starts in 3, 2, 1.
Here's the thing, Kaiser. Do you think that there might be a problem with Brother Lomas being such a big, colorful, very entertaining personality that he would actually outshadow his players?
No, I think to be that misaligned in your brain and know that you don't have the talent to compete like other players, you would force that upon all that energy and all that religious angst and creative angst because you're not a good player would go towards the managing aspect. The man is a poet. I mean, I would listen. I would go to coffee shops and listen to him do poetry. The man, have you ever listened to the man speak? He listen. Now, I know, I get it. He's on a horse shit faction. I get it, Mara. But he is a shining light. He is a shining light amongst that group of miscreants.
But there's a lot of things to being a manager besides being able to be poetic, which could be interesting. But I mean, have you ever observed anything in him, or even on a personal basis, that would lead you to believe that he has leadership qualities, or that he could galvanize a group of strangers to want to work together, study together, to win as a group?
I don't know anything.
I haven't seen that personally, but I also don't know him personally, so I can only judge what I've seen on camera.
Mara, I don't know anything about that, but what I do know is that you would sooner leave your children with John Hoey than you would this guy. So to your point, I think I'm right.
Isn't that hurting your argument, though? I would rather trust my children
some
with
people
someone
have
who's gonna
kids.
let
Some
manage
people have
people.
kids, and it's probably important to, bring that point out. So, more trustworthy, guy you want to invite to your family barbecue, a guy who,
Are you making my argument for me?
You go with John Hoey. If you need someone to get demonic, and I mean downright put a spell on somebody and really get with the voodoo kind of thing and really, take a guy out. I'm talking like deep Vietnam apocalypse now type shit. You go with Brother Lomas because that guy's seen things. That guy's seen things.
Already, though, there are several other options that are better than Brother Lomas. Like, for example, Thomas Harper. Look at another person, natural born leader. Why didn't you pick somebody like Thomas Harper? I would gladly be in a faction underneath of him. But Brother Lomas I would honestly be more likely to avoid the group dynamics of a faction because he seems very volatile and very angry and might aggravate my PTSD
I don't
a little.
think he's angry. I just think he's excitable. I'll drop this one on you. What about Paige Fabretti? Because she's going to need a job after tomorrow. She could be a manager.
Good grief, Kaiser. You're just being so mean. I think that, don't get me wrong,
who would be good?
Interesting option. Why didn't you pick Paige? Paige definitely is not necessarily a better option than John Hoey, though. No, she's not. I'm just saying, if you're the one who broke out. What about this rookie? What about that rookie? That's all I'm saying. I started to think about some other rookies. I think Lomas. You're bringing up a lot of dark arts, Satanism type of things. I think that one of the things
I love John Hoey
is that he doesn't need to rely on something so spiritual in order to guarantee that he could be a successful manager. He already has those intrinsic qualities that are already observed.
We live in a world of angels and demons, and who's going to guide you through that world? Brother Lomas or my good man, John Hoey? I love John Hoey.
I love John Hoey. Muslim atheists, so
I love
demons
John
and angels
Hoey.
are not working for me right now, bro.
As I walk through the valley of darkness, I kicketh the hobo as I walketh my way safeth. Take Brother Lomas.
I almost feel like I should just cede the next 10 seconds because I feel like he made half my argument for me. I'm just going to sit here.
4,
I love John Hoey.
2,
beautiful human being.
Too.
1.
Beautiful human being.
Okay, so that was the 4 minutes. We did have a question from the ghost judge, so I'm gonna put 30 more, or I'm gonna put 1 more minute on the clock for this, just because I make the rules.
Is it Snyder? Is it Snyder?
No.
Fuck, man.
I can't.
I said I wasn't gonna curse. See, just say it's like Beetlejuice. You say the word Snyder and it makes you drop an F-bomb.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 1 more minute. Ghost judge would say, like to know. She said, or they said, shit. They said,
boy, you are really a moron, Jake. You know that. Maybe you should stay behind the camera. Has anybody ever suggested that to you?
But
in that call to action organization?
Say who would be in their factions. Wow. 1 minute starting now.
All right, personally, I actually see Hoey as being a person that would draft a couple of veteran players, perhaps like he might even bring Molly Damon with him into his own faction.
That would be
They
a
work
great
so well
pick.
together as Star Wars players, but I see him also bringing in talented rookies because he himself was trusted as a talented rookie. His record is not reflective of his overall talent as a player. So I think that we would see a nice mix of veteran players to help shepherd in and mentor young, talented rookies.
Kaiser?
John Hoey is a stand-up man. That man came into our faction and gave his all. I mean, he was there training people in singles when that wasn't even his thing. He just wanted to be in the room. He wanted to work with the crew, joke around, ingratiated himself, and he's got a personality of his
10
own
seconds.
that makes this faction like completely flushed out. There is no dungeon without John Hoey. Love that man. Vote for Brother Lomas.
I don't see how that could have been any better.
Yeah, it's a great way to answer the question.
It's called reverse psychology, Whitney. Maybe you should try it when you get to Schmoebates.
I'm just here to judge, man. I'm here.
You're the
I'm
best
here to,
judge. Listen, I refuse to do this unless you were here. When Jake's like, "Will you do it?" I said, "No." He goes, "We got Whitney." I go, "I'm in."
Yeah, we'll go. With that.
That's also not. Yeah, I appreciate being buttered up. I love being buttered as much as the next person, but you still didn't answer the question.
Sweet European butter, that like 85% butterfat butter.
Yeah, like that Kerrygold stuff you see at Whole Foods. Yeah, that stuff's
I've got
good.
3 pounds of that in my fridge right now.
It's good for baking.
The Dungeon Diner, baby, is alive and well. I can't wait to be a 80-year-old man and work in the Dungeon Diner that we created. It's happening. It's going to be a franchise.
We'll be our Dexter Jetster, man.
But we'll talk about that later. That's
all right. Yeah. Y'all talk about that.
We're
later.
making business moves. We're making big business
Whitney,
moves.
do you have anything that you would like them to touch on in the closing statement?
Well, I appreciate that. We got a good idea as to what Hoey's future team would be like, and maybe the dynamic between the players. Now, I'm a big fan of Star Trek. If anybody knows anything about me, they know I'm a big Trekkie.
Me
Which means I do value leadership skills in my captains. So if we're going to be talking about managers, I'm going to want to know a little bit more about their management styles and the kinds of crews they would have, as if they were perhaps captaining a starship. Something to think about.
Or spells. That's real life. What you're talking about is fake. Spells and demon, that shit's real.
Star Trek wouldn't lie to me.
You're talking about something else, man. And I tell you, I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of this Star Trek. Okay, believe it or not.
All right.
Which one's your favorite?
I like the Borg season when the Borgs came to town and they had to get rid of them. That was
so
my
what he's
favorite.
saying is like Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and 2 are his 2 favorite Star Trek episodes.
Bones is my favorite. Whitney,
what's the
Bones
name
is
of
my favorite. My favorite character is Bones.
What's the name of your favorite Borg?
Ava DuVernay.
Good.
What he meant to say was Hugh. That's what he meant to say.
Hugh, yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
Ava
Jonathan Del Arco,
Ava DuVernay was the best Borg. What?
Is my favorite Borg.
Okay, now that we've established that.
Did she play one in a
damn
show?
it, Kaiser.
Alice Krieg played a Borg. Is that who you're thinking of?
I like the JJ movies. I'm not going to lie with you. Why people are shitting on it? That man's putting the Beastie Boys, clearly ripping somebody else off. But I don't know. I was down with JJ's.
You know that.
I'm very down with JJ's Star Trek. That said, nothing beats the OG turning it on at 1 a.m. and you just find it on channel 9 because there's only 9 channels. That shit was cool. All right.
Damn near forgot what the question was. Okay.
John
Closing.
the answer you were looking for.
Closing statements. Kaiser, you went first for the opening statement, so we'll stick with that here. You have 1 minute for your closer.
To talk about this same shit we just talked about, or is this a new one?
It's a closing statement, man.
Oh,
you've been on
how many
show.
I didn't know how long you can talk about something for. You must have a very easily amused audience. You know that? All right, go ahead.
Yeah, if they're here for you. Okay, 3.
That's fair.
2, 1.
It's the smartest thing that's ever came out of your mouth, Jake. That is literally the best joke that's ever come out of your mouth. And I want to celebrate you because you deserve to be celebrated sometimes. Okay, you need to put down the Paul Malls because if the kids are watching, that's not a good example. Okay. Yeah, look at that. I called it.
You're on the clock,
clairvoyant.
Right? You got
That's what I'm talking
seconds.
about. When you start factoring in clairvoyance, you think about Brother Lomas. He can predict the future. He knows what's going on. You throw some chicken blood in the dirt. Next thing you know, it's like Chavez, Young Guns 2. You're just, do you see the size of that chicken? You just take the mushrooms, go into the spirit world and figure it all out. Brother Lomas will lead you into the promised land. So will John Hoey, but it'll take 15. A different path. That's all I'm saying. I think Lomas is nuts. I know John Hoey's not crazy. So in the Schmoedown, which is filled with crazy people, you need a crazy captain. You need a Colonel Kurtz. And therefore, you go for Brother Lomas. Loomis.
There's your time.
Good grief.
Okay, Mara.
Why did we have to talk about that for so long? I figure that's a 60-second conversation at best.
That's how the show works, bro.
Okay, got you. I didn't know that.
Yes, you did. Okay, so Mara, your 1 minute closing statement starts in 3, 2, 1.
So as far as John Hoey goes and Star Trek captains, I 100% think that he would be our Picard. I think that he has the confidence, he has the intellect. He's not as cavalier as a Kirk, but he knows exactly where he's going and how he wants to lead. I think that he would really come into his own, very much like Picard did. I think that Molly Damon could be his Beverly Crusher, not just for the hair, but just because they have a kindred spirit in Star Trek, albeit a platonic one. I think that I could easily be his Geordi, not just because I was an actual engineer on the actual USS Enterprise, but, because I'm awesome. And I have a glasses thing and problems with my vision. But one of the things I think that we haven't touched yet on that bears mentioning is that Brother Lomas, admittedly by Kaiser's own speech, is that he's not exactly the most naturally gifted player. And that doesn't mean you can't be a great manager, but one of the best managers of all time is Sam Levine. And John Hoey is an elite Star Wars player. He would be an excellent manager. And as Kaiser mentioned, he has helped in on singles and teams things as well. So Hoey's a well-rounded guy to be our manager for successful rookie manager.
If you need somebody to stand in, if your best friend drops out of your wedding and you need a guy to put on a suit and hang out, you go with John Hoey.
Sure.
Just a stand-up guy all the way around.
Okay, so that is the end of round 1. I have just posted the poll on the call to action
still
Twitter.
Alive, everybody.
That was just round 1.
I mean, Mara, this is like the Jerry Lewis telethon. We might be here on Sunday when the Rams game kicks off.
Okay, so let me put it in the chat real quick.
So, yeah.
And
how's everybody
Whitney,
doing?
Real quick, Whitney, I did start a separate Twitter chat with you and Rachel, so you can put your votes in.
Thank you for doing that. Let me
Guys, you made my cat very upset.
Well, see what happens when you try and tangle with the dungeon? We usually upset people. Oh, boy.
Okay, we already have
an upset pig outside of this door. I should let him in here right now.
We have a decision for round 1. I'm only going to tell you the winner of round 1. I'm going to save the winners for round 2 and 3 for the end.
If I can provide a pig, that should get me a point.
Maybe. Okay, then our winner of round 1, by nobody's surprise, is the amazing Mara.
Are you kidding me?
Well,
it was a tough one, guys.
Let's see.
He's young.
There's a pig in the room. He's an adorable critter.
Boy. I'm doing a show. I gotta put you. You gotta go. You gotta stop being so damn loud. You're being All right, go ahead. What's the next question?
I was distracted by the piggy, but it's.
I feed him blueberries and little oat treats when I visit.
Oh, little cutie.
Oh, he's a pain in the ass.
All right, so going to round 2.
Round 2. This is the wheel round. So I'm going to take Star Trek And I'm gonna go
Should you
with
go?
going Star Trek on the wheel and Walter Hill.
Okay, in the assignment. Boy, the assignment was kind of misguided, wasn't it?
The Assignment, is that a movie or a question?
It's a Walter Hill movie.
Is that the one with what's the one where they were boxing? It was Charles Bronson,
It's called Play It to
James
the Bone.
Coburn.
Don't you have a
That's
heart
a
out,
bad
Kaiser?
movie.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to let you focus up here, man.
I don't even know what time.
Yeah, Whitney, you want to read?
I did have a heart out. I think
Yes, I do
that
want
got
to
blown
read
away.
a question, please. Thank you. I would love to read a question. Question number 2. Pay attention. Without
Hang
dropping
on.
any players, what competitor would you add to the dungeon?
Who goes first?
This would be Mara going first.
Oh.
And your opening statement starts in 3, 2, 1.
So I would pick Paul Walter Hauser. Now I want to make sure I preface this and say he doesn't have the established record of somebody who is also a celebrity competitor like a Kevin Smith, but he is passionate about movies. He is also a genuinely kind person. I had the pleasure of briefly meeting him at the HCA Awards, and he was not only kind and receptive to kindness, but he was warm. He was eager to talk to people and to socialize. I think that having a celebrity in our faction, which we actually currently have a small deficit of major celebrity, means that you get guaranteed matches. That means that you get some guaranteed exposure, not just for you, but for your faction at large, especially when we get back to in-person, in-studio, and live events when the faction as a whole is together. He also has the dungeon vibe. He 100% would fit in with the dungeon family. And we all know that we want to win the faction title, but being together as a family and gelling and being a group that's cohesive and successful as a family is the most important thing. So Paul Walter Hauser would be the absolute best addition without dropping any players to the dungeon.
Okay, and Kaiser, your minute starts in 3, 2, 1.
Mara, I love you to death.
I know.
But that was not the right answer. The answer is Vinny the Ice Pick Mancuso. Now, let me tell you why. There is a serious lack of talented people in the Schmoedown. I mean, you get past Dan Murrell, Frankie Alvarez, Ken Knapsack. It's really scraping the bowl. You know what I mean? But Vinny, the Ice Pick Mancuso. Now, this guy interviewed Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is going to win an Academy Award this year for that whole Charlotte's Web thing that he did. And the guy made all those movies. And I'm talking, he was in Raising Arizona, the greatest like family comedy of all time. Vinny Mancuso is a stone cold killer. Vinny Mancuso knows how to crack a safe. Don't ever trust a man with 3 first names, Paul Walker Hauser.
5, 4.
Don't. Anyone knows anything about the dungeon? Once you're in, you're never out.
Time.
Vinny Mancuso.
All right, Whitney, you got any thoughts here?
Well, this is really interesting because as a professional critic, I actually have a relationship with both of these people in a way. Paul Walter Hauser actually has been granted awards by a critics body that I belong to. So I am familiar with his work and already admire him. So it's kind of wise for Mara to bring that up. John brought up an editor, which is something that every good critic needs. So he actually knows how to. He would actually may have been a better choice for a manager because they're used to wrangling people and managing words. If he knows that much, maybe he would be a good player. But these are both good choices, and I think I'm gonna have to think about this for a second.
Yeah, I think
One guy knows how to crack a safe. Don't forget that.
Which is may be incredibly valuable when we're playing. You know what? There could be a big Schmoedown with a heist backstage, and if that's going on, then we'll definitely need a safe cracker.
Okay, and our ghost judge wants to know, what does your pick bring to the dungeon that it doesn't currently have?
A safe cracker.
We will be
Am I
going
first?
Save it for the debate.
Okay.
Your 4 minutes of open debate starts in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so I actually take umbrage with the statement of lack of talented people in the Schmoedown, because that means you also think there's a lack of talented people in the dungeon, which
I
there
didn't say
absolutely
I
are
was
not.
one of them. I didn't say I was one of the talented people. So
No, but I mean,
I
by
just gave you
implying
3
that bringing Vinny
examples.
into the dungeon means that he is adding to the idea that there's a
Oh,
lack
no.
of talented people.
Oh, no, I didn't.
There's
I
a
wasn't
vacuum of talent in the
desecrating.
dungeon.
Sis, I wasn't desecrating our talent. As a matter of fact, I said 3 talented people off the top of my head. The first 3 I could think of were Dan, Alvarez, and Knapsack. Like 3
That's not at all
professionals.
insulting to
A
me
lot
at
of
all.
these
Not
people
even
are
a little
running,
bit.
Mara, you know this. A lot of these people are running around like it's a community college with no walls and plumbing problems. Like, I'm talking a professional. That's Vinny Mancuso.
All right. Well,
I didn't say
I'm
we
just going to
weren't.
put it out there too. You say he cracks safes. This is not bullshit. This is 100% true. And you can ask the people that used to live across from me in the first apartments in Hollywood. I 100% can pick locks. I've never cracked a safe, but I can 100% pick locks. I have the tools. It's not illegal. I checked.
I believe you. I think you can do everything and anything. You're like the
So
Brie
then why do we
Larson.
need Vinny Mancuso?
You're like the Brie
one thing we don't
Larson
have
of the
is a
dungeon.
celebrity.
What was
though I
she?
think I'm the most
Supergirl,
important
whatever.
person in the world, I'm not. But
I
Paul
think
Walter
you're
Hauser,
like-
talented celebrity, he brings something that we don't have.
All right, I got news for you, sis. I love you to death, but you got to hear me out. If you were stuck on Camp Crystal Lake, you want Vinny the Ice Pick with you, not Paul Walker Hauser, not Sam Levine, not Chance Ellison, because I'll tell you what, the people running the camp would sooner kill Chance before Jason. You see what I'm saying? You want Vinny the Ice Pick Mancuso to get you out of that situation. He'll stand up to Jason. He ain't afraid of shit. Don't give a shit. And he's
Dude,
a
are you
brilliant
joking?
man.
I'm the
He
final
tells
girl.
great
I don't need anyone to do anything for me.
Mara, but you're not human. There's a difference. You're from another planet, another world. You're like Jeff Bridges, the female version of Starman. You're Star Woman. No one's ever seen anything like you. You don't count.
Great
You
movie
ain't real.
drop, by the way.
You're not a human
Excellent.
being. You're not a human being. Vinny
But here's the thing,
Mancuso
though.
is. He bleeds
mentioned
just
the
like
Nick
Paul
Cage
Walker
interview
Hauser. Oh my God! Did you watch it?
You definitely did a Nick
And
Cage
see how
name drop.
comfortable that Nick was
right.
with this guy, because Vinny's a guy who sits down across from you. You just want to talk to him. You just want to hang out with him. He's the most charismatic son of a bitch, and he's the coolest guy in the room. You mean to tell me if you're walking through high school and you had to land at the cafeteria table and eat lunch with someone who you've never seen before, you're going to look at Vinny, you're going to look at Paul Walker,
90
Hauser,
seconds.
and you're going to sit down with Vinny?
Okay, well, for one thing, first of all, I think that the idea of bringing body composition into it, not a solid strategy. But
What do you mean?
I was
I
a
didn't think
band
body
geek and I was a
composition.
debate geek. Surprise, surprise. I like the idea that there's an intellectual component to Paul Walter Hauser. He is not just charisma. He's not just fun. He's not just dungeon vibe. There's a lot going on up there. And I'm not saying Vinny doesn't have that, but I think Paul Walter Hauser is a much more well-rounded addition. He has many things to offer. I would sit at
1
his
minute.
table. I would.
Is there going to be a closing statement still?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll save this for that.
And don't forget you have your 30 seconds if you want.
My JTE.
Mhm.
I'm going to save that one.
Well, you still have 45 seconds in this round.
All right. Well, first of all, also Paul Walker.
Great, I'm gonna
sadly, is
order
no
a
longer
pizza.
of this earth. But Paul Walter Hauser is. I also think, by the way, that one thing that he brings that we don't have is a really lighthearted look at the world. I think that he's done some very serious projects, and he's also played several real life characters. He's had to get in touch with some dark places, but in my brief interaction with him, he's a very lighthearted, happy, bubbly person, and so receptive
15.
to people that are happy and
Vinny
kind. And I think the
Mancuso
dungeon is
is
a warm,
already-
happy place.
Mara, Vinny
10
Mancuso was already in the dungeon. He is dungeon. That's what
Never
I'm
seen
saying.
him at a dungeon hangout. Never seen him
Well,
at dungeon
'cause he
happy
lives
hours.
in New
Dungeon
Jersey.
jackpot
Fine.
sessions.
I mean, New Jersey.
Time. That is time.
And he's in that other dumb faction with that other idiot Chandru and his buddies. So there's that.
Sure.
Okay. Whitney, what you got?
Let's see here. I think Mara has an excellent point about Paul Walter Hauser's celebrity. I think having sort of a lighthearted presence and also a famous person in the dungeon would definitely up its visibility and up its friendliness. And when you have a friendly faction, more people are going to want to come and watch and feel warmed. John's point is, this is a fun person to get a beer with. This is not necessarily a great point when it comes to competition.
You must have
However,
missed the Camp Crystal Lake thing. Because if you walk into Camp Crystal Lake with that haircut, Vinny Mancuso is going to save your ass, not the other guy.
If we're going to moneyball this and just sort of really lay the numbers down and see who's going to get us on plate, who's going to get the dungeon more points and more wins, I think Vinny Mancuso is the surer bet. So
Yeah,
Smart man, Witney.
There's
man, Witney.
some good things to weigh here.
yeah.
Also, he's got a cooler nickname. It's the Ice Pick. This guy's got
the
Walker as a
Stingray,
middle.
bro. He was in Cobra Kai. Come on now.
He's Paul the Walker Hauser. Vinny
No,
the
it's
Ice Pick Mancuso.
What
What name
Hauser.
sounds cooler to you?
You keep saying Paul Walker Hauser.
Paul
Walter
Paul
Hauser
Walter Hauser.
played a character
That's not
named
as cool
Stingray in Cobra
as
Kai.
Vinny the Ice Pick Mancuso is all I'm saying.
All right. Well, let's see what you got for your closing statements.
boy.
Mara, you are
This is where
first.
the rubber hits the road. I'm getting a Perrier for this one.
Aren't you fancy?
I just got a drink delivery myself. It's perfect.
Nice.
Go ahead, Mara. You're up, sis.
Okay.
I love the green hair. Looks badass.
It very much so does. So, Mara, your 1 minute
Matches my
starts,
bottle.
And Kaiser, shut
Sort
the
of.
fuck up.
All right, I will start.
It starts in 3, 2, 1.
So I do think that Vinny is absolutely the epitome of cool. I do think he'd be a super sick person to hang out with, but I don't know if that is any different than any other person we have in the dungeon, in the sense that we all already do all those things. The thing that Paul Walter Hauser adds, it is the celebrity status. And yes, points matter, but I think that truly, I really do believe that at the end of the day, the thing that is most important is that the dungeon people bond in a way that cannot be separated by any amount of faction separating out next year, or whether or not someone leaves the Schmoedown or has to go do other things in their professional life. I think that that balance is important, but the family matters more than the points. And Paul Walter Hauser would gel with us in a way that would be totally seamless. He's also an incredibly down-to-earth celebrity, which is a little different than some of the other celebrities in the Schmoedown. I think that we would be better off for having him in there, but that is not saying that I don't think Vinny is super cool. I just don't think he's the best choice in this argument.
3, 2, 1. All right. And Kaiser, your rebuttal.
I want any of you who are watching this show right now, any of you people out there that call yourselves dungeon fans, and you vote for Paul the Walker Hauser over a guy who was already in our faction, you stab me in the heart if you do that. And I want you to know what?
You could pitch that.
Why are you interrupting me? Isn't this my closing statement?
You're the one on a time crunch.
Am I not doing my closing statements?
Yeah, I haven't started.
Well, why are you interrupting me with your Steve McNair jersey?
I haven't.
Can I finish?
This is North Carolina, sir, and I haven't started your clock yet.
All right, go ahead. Start.
I'm going to say your 1 minute starts in 3, 2, 1.
You listen, all you dungeon heads out there who are watching this show right now. If any of you people vote for Paul the Walker Hauser instead of Vinny the Ice Pick Mancuso, a man who was already in the dungeon, stab me in my heart. I didn't want to have to reenact that. That's something a bit I already did. But Jake's dumbass has no comedic timing. But anyways, my point is this: Vinny Mancuso gave me these for Christmas. You know what these are? These are bolt cutters. This is something you can use. You can use these. People want to give you a sweater, give you a gift card to the Corral or Pizza Hut or some other shithole. This man gives you something you can use. Bolt cutters. You know what I mean? Vinny Mancuso, he's smart. He's a forward thinker. He's your friend. And goddamn, if you don't love to read him on Collider, because he is the best. My favorite film critic, not named Dan Merle. They're 1 and 1A. I'm done.
And
I'm
for
a
that,
film critic.
for that little
So much
shot
to
you
unpack
took
there,
at
man.
me, there you go. Oh, hey, welcome back. All right, let me get this poll going. It is up on the call to action Twitter.
Sometimes in life, you got to use props. You never know, Whitney. You're like, you know what? Maybe that'll work. Maybe that's a good
props,
bit.
Other people use debate tools like pen and paper.
I know. Well, that makes you more
Or
dignified.
whiteboard.
Hey, John.
Yes.
John, who's your favorite film critic?
Dan Merle.
The right answer is Roger Ebert.
I can't lie. His show is the best. Like his show, I told him this many times. I don't want to be to like get off this, but you sit down and he's talking to you. It isn't like trying to be snobby. Dan talks to you. It's like there's like a natural discourse that goes on in your brain when you watch Dan's reviews of films, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Whitney, you're fucking the beauty for a reason, and you're great, and I love you guys. Bibbs, of course, too, is up there, but Vinny's my guy. What can I say?
Okay. I was leaving the door wide open for you to flatter me.
I had to be real,
Cuzzy.
I had to be real with it. With it.
Yeah. Okay, so the poll is live. It's on the call to action Twitter page, so you all can go vote. And we are going to move into round number 3.
Ooh, wee.
And since both of y'all have already gone first, to decide who goes first in this round,
Jake's going to flip a wooden nickel that his grandfather gave him by the train tracks.
It's the Action Army coin. You can either pick Team Guy or Team Trader. I am going to allow Mara to pick whether you want to go first or second.
If you want, since I picked first or second already, let Kaiser pick for the coin toss.
I'm giving that to you. Fuck him.
Oh my God. Well, then in that case, I'm going to pick Guy because it seems like it's going to work out well for me.
I will take the boss. Give me Team Boss.
It was Bateman. So, yes. Kaiser, you can pick. Would you like to go first or second?
I'm going to go first.
All right. Damn. Now I feel bad about Alex dropping the coin so many times.
It's okay. I'm dropping food everywhere, and my cats are like, "You're dropping food everywhere."
John Hoey.
John
Hoey is a stand-up man.
That he is.
Good guy, that John Hoey.
All right. Our round 3 question. Whitney, if you would do the honors.
The great Witney Seibold.
Question number 3. This is a fun one, you guys. Pitch a reality show featuring the dungeon members. Guessing this is going to need a cast, a premise, a title. Pretend I have a Pretend I have a checkbook and millions of dollars.
Oh, I love this.
I actually have one of those things.
Well, if you don't invest in this, then you're a fool. And that's all I got to say. My reality show is called Parker's Place. Now, this is like Melrose Place, except instead of douchebags, it's got degenerates, right? And so what we do is we, instead of like the Melrose people living there, it's the dungeon lives in Parker's Place. And then like every week we go on like a new fun adventure. So like week 1, episode 1, we'll go to Kalinowski and Shannon, what's her name's house, and we'll be dressed up like exterminators. But instead of like killing bugs, we're going to release cockroaches. Okay. And then when Kalinowski and Shannon come running out of the house, like with their hair on fire, looking like idiots.
20 seconds.
Then we release a bunch of cockroaches and we steal back the belts that they stole from us. And that's episode 1, Parker's Place. There's a whole bunch of wacky adventures, but I think that's the pilot. I think that's the opener. And Parker's Place. 4, 3, 2, 1. But the whole dungeon lives there. You see what I mean? Like a commune.
We got you.
Yeah, like a Kaiser commune, but we call it Parker's Place. Because Whitney, that sounds better on paper. That's better in the pit. Parker's Place. Got to rolls up.
Are you wanting to use your JTE here?
Oh no.
Okay. Mara,
by the way, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to use my last 30 seconds on my closing. So we'll just tack that on at the end there.
Gotcha. Okay, so your minute starts in 3, 2, 1.
So my show is going to be a take on the Jersey Shore / Floribama Shore style programming, and it is going to be called Dungeon Del Rey. So we're going to get the entire dungeon in a house in Marina Del Rey. which is already near some Dungeon family folk. It is going to include Piggy Smalls. He will be in the house with us. There will be shenanigans. I mean, it's going to be a beach house environment. We're going to go do stupid stuff. We're going to go tubing and see if we can throw Kaiser off the tube and see if he drowns. We're going to go skydiving and see who pees their pants. Like, we're going to have GoPros with us when we do all this stuff. We're going to play Jackbox games and get canceled. We're going to play beer pong. We're going to pull pranks on Parker. I would cue the video of me pulling a prank on Parker
seconds.
here, but I can't because I don't have prior permission. I'd also like to point out that Parker's Place is a great title, but the actual name of Parker's new apartment is the Fortress of Robbitude, which is already a better title. So I think
We're gonna get canceled
Dungeon
on
Del Rey
fucking
is going to be
Jackbox.
an entertaining,
4,
unstructured reality
3,
program that's perfectly
2,
suited to the Dungeon vibe.
Perfect.
Listen, if I'm gonna get canceled, Jackbox is the place. To your point, that's the best place to do it because
That
it
is
take
not
them
a
a
lie.
while to catch up with you. You know, like, oh, he's still going. Still, Parker's Place is the show, but that was good. Who doesn't want to see the dungeon infiltrate and prank
Should
the
we just start
Kalinowskis, the
open
real
stuff now?
Kalinowskis of Burbank, wherever he lives? All right,
Right.
next question.
Okay, so our ghost judge would like to know what's the super emotional episode of your show? And Whitney, do you have anything?
Right now we have chaos versus order. Which of those is preferable when it comes to reality TV? I know what a producer might say. I know what I might say. I'd like
What would you say?
Yeah,
well, I'm not going to say yet because I would like you to establish and solidify your points a little
All
bit
right.
better.
Are you
Yeah, and
asking me to
also,
tell you? Are you
also-
asking for episode 2, Whitney? Is that what you're asking for? A
Well,
Parker's Place?
For the ghost judge also has a question for you that I'm also eager to hear the answer.
Yeah,
for.
You
Ghost-
can go. I can answer this question unless Mara wants to answer
well,
first.
we gotta. No, it's gonna be the 4-minute.
I'd rather
open
go to
debate.
the talented person and the person who actually
Well-
is esteemed and people like Mara
Then-
before I go to me.
Okay, then you can defer. Let me start the timer, and we'll get into it. Your 4 minutes
Okay.
starts in 3, 2, 1.
I would like to redact to my esteemed partner, Mara.
All right, I'm not going to define the word redact for you, but I'm moving forward. I would actually like to first address the idea of stealing belts. While that shenanigan in and of itself sounds kind of fun, the dungeon can win the belts back the right way. We don't need to resort to such things. Also, cockroaches are cool, but I think that drunken tubing and Jackbox games is way more our vibe. I also don't think Robbie would enjoy being around a bunch of cockroaches. That's just based on personal experience. I think that this is way more literally what we're already doing. We should already just put cameras in front of what we already do because we have fun doing it. We're not going to put people in uncomfortable places, pun intended. We're not going to have to involve other factions to be entertaining. We're entertaining enough on our own. So
Is it my turn for episode 2,
you can
Whitney?
you can say stuff, yeah.
Whitney, episode 2 of Parker's Place. The dungeon does like a community theater production of The Passion of the Christ. Okay, and this is where Harloff guest stars as Jesus. So
Can I
I'm
just say
gonna
no in caps and have
hold
that
on,
be
hold on. I'm gonna play Judas. Bateman will play Pontius Pilate. Harloff is Jesus. Once Jesus,
Do I have to
Harloff.
be Mary Magdalene because I'm the
Hold
only
on.
girl?
Well, we'll have to figure that out, Mara. We'll do that casting later. But once Jesus, Harloff, is crucified, then we can actually get Witney Seibold a match. And that's how Act 3 ends. So we're going to do the Passion of the Christ. You kill off Harloff / Jesus. We get Whitney the match, and then everybody's cheering at the crucifixion because, like, yeah, it's sad that this guy got crucified, but we got Whitney a match, which is what we've been trying to do all season long. Episode 2, Parker's Place. Episode 3, all I got to tell you
2
is
minutes.
there's a bounce house, a keg, and you just might see a cameo by Paul Walker Hauser.
All right, so religious overtones aside, I think that the super emotional episode can actually just be multi-episodes. I think that clearly this show is going to follow the dungeon as a whole, which means it's going to follow us to big matches. Spectacular is coming around the corner faster than we know it. Robert Parker is going to win the Intergeekdom tournament, and he's going to be playing for his very first title. If that's not an emotional thing, I don't know what is. He's been in a faction with Kevin, with myself. He has been surrounded by Intergeekdom greatness, and he himself is great, but has not properly been allocated that affirmation by the fans. He is championship level and he's going to prove it. What's more emotional than celebrating something fabulous with someone you care about? Robbie is like my little brother, both in stature and, well, actually, I think he's technically taller, but in age, he's definitely littler. I think that we can watch that happen with many people in our faction. Molly's going to win a title. Dan can win back a title. Ben and Dan can win the team's titles together. Like, they're on the trajectory for it. What's more emotional than that for a group of people already invested in one another's success?
Episode 3, we get some bolt cutters.
45 seconds.
And if you got a guy named Vinny the Ice Pick on your team, he can crack the safe. We're going to go into a Bank of America in broad daylight. We're going to get Tom Sizemore, Val Kilmer, the guy who was angry at Ben Stiller in that one movie, the taxi driver guy. And then we're going to go and we're going to do a shootout. Episode 3. They won't be real bullets, but we're just going to scare the crap out of everybody, man. So get ready for I'm talking Parker's Place. We're going to do our Heat episode, Whitney. That's what I'm talking about. You could play Wayne Grow if you want, Whitney. You could cameo as Wayne Grow. Since all the dungeon lives in Parker's Place, we can all act in the movie.
I'm just letting this happen.
Take different people can direct an episode. Maybe Whitney directs episode 4. Maybe Howie does.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Anybody in the dungeon can direct an episode of Parker's Place because it's a team and we all work together and have fun together.
Are you using your JTE?
I'll use it when I want to use it. How's that?
Well, you only have one more opportunity, so.
Jake, I'll talk to you when I feel like it. How's that for my using my JTE?
Do what you do, bro. All right. So, coming down to closing statements.
This is my favorite part.
That we want them to talk about.
So when we're crucifying someone on the show,
Harloff, not somebody.
Kaiser.
Does it have to be?
It's a stage production. It's community theater. That means 14 people are in the audience. It's not like a big thing. It's like that scene in Lebowski when he asked the guy, "Oh, come see my show."
The question was a reality show, not a stage
in
theater.
That episode, think of like It's Always Sunny. The gang does different things every week. In the reality show, we will do a community theater production of The Last Temptation of Christ.
Okay,
but the dungeon guys will play the character and girls will play the character.
This is Virgin on closing statement /JTE. So
okay, fine, take it if you need to use it.
No, I mean,
if you need to use my JTE so you can get 2 words in, go for it.
I'm the goddamn host, Kaiser.
I have a real.
I had no idea. I just thought you were the only guy who had like a StreamYard account or whatever.
Okay.
I didn't think you were actually here for a reason.
Mara, go ahead.
Were there any other legitimate asks from either our present judge or our ghost judge prior to opening or closing statements, rather?
Yes. Ghost judge says who or what band is playing the theme song?
This is an excellent question.
To Parker's Place or Mara's show?
Both.
We both have to pick.
Oh.
To your show, John.
The theme song to my show is going to be London Dungeon.
We're not
London.
We're not in the fucking.
I thought you were asking me a question. Maybe you should get your shit together.
Yes, that is how it works.
Think about it for a few moments.
Yes,
I already got my answer.
Another thing is, come up with a top 5.
Whitney, did you notice they did a real dumb thing? They're like, well, if you had to have one person join the dungeon without dropping someone, well, why don't you just say if you could have one person join the dungeon? Why did you have to say with dropping somebody?
I said without dropping.
It's not even relevant. It's not even relevant to the argument or the question.
It is. Keep your team and add someone.
Yeah. You're expanding the team rather than replacing a player.
The way it works now, if you were Yeah, if you were going to add someone,
If
you would have to drop
subtraction is not a
someone.
penalty, then why mention it? It's just addition.
Should
at
I
this
just
point.
go? Like,
We're gonna start the closing statements.
I didn't.
I've already forgotten who's going first right now.
Mara.
Kaiser is going first. No,
Okay,
Kaiser.
okay,
likes
I'll
to
go
first. Sure, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm here for it, Mara. I'll go first.
Just remember, you do have your extra 30 seconds if you want it.
I got it.
But your 60 seconds starts in 3, 2, 1.
Now, what part of the show is this again?
You're doing the theme song.
Fucking.
Oh, theme song. I will go with Linda Ronstadt, man. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Baby, you're no good. Sing it with me, Whitney.
You can make other
points.
points.
You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Baby, you're no good. That's a song I hear in my head when I go walk to the street to buy a bottle of water.
20 seconds if you have.
That's the opening theme song to Parker's Place. I divert my time to Mara.
Okay, with 15 seconds left.
That's
It's not my closing statement. That's just my Linda Ronstadt rant.
That was your closing
Say that
statement.
3 times fast. Linda Ronstadt rant.
That was your closing statement.
I'll let Linda Ronstadt. The woman has the voice of an angel. I'm done.
All right.
Okay.
Mara, your minute. Oh, you said
this
minute
is a
30.
Beautiful Christmas present from Vinny Mancuso.
So that's why you picked him.
All right.
He gives nice gifts.
All right, Mara, your minute and a half starts 3, 2, 1.
All right. So to me, the theme song was the easiest possible thing. It's going to be Take On Me by Aha. And we're going to have the intro be animated like the music video, except with dungeon people in it. It's going to be epic and amazing. Also, one of the best music videos ever made. Fight me on it. I'll die on that cross. So, which is weird for Jewish people to say. Okay, so one of the things that I hadn't yet mentioned that Kaiser himself actually brought up before is Dungeon Diner. One of the elements of the show can be all of us cooking together. Kaiser can make us some delicious pasta. I can bake baked goods. We can have Robbie doing the mixing and being our mixologist. All of these shenanigans, all these things we already do and already entertain one another with, we can entertain everyone else. Also, it can be a mildly structured reality program, but it really could be completely and totally unstructured. I like the idea that we're not going to rely on gimmicks or theatrical stage productions in order to entertain our audience, because we are captivating enough on our own. The faction already do these things. People are already interested in them. So why not just do that in front of a camera? We would have more fun if we're in our native element altogether. Furthermore, Parker's Place, though it sounds entertaining, it seems like this would be this is like limited series. This is like 6 episodes max. Floribama, Jersey Shore, those are shows that just run endlessly because they're entertaining. I think that we could easily get 6 seasons and a movie out of it. So I think that Dungeon Del Rey is easily the choice here. And also Kaiser made most of my points for me. The end.
And time. Go ahead and put out this last poll. Which everybody can go vote at the call.
By the way, it takes not Twitter. 1, not 2, but 3 whiteboards to do this.
I admire the dedication.
Here's my thingy.
Okay.
That's not it. Okay.
Put this in the chat real quick.
Kaiser, this was fun. He's not listening to me, is he?
Probably not.
Is he muted?
I think he's muted himself by accident here.
Although by accident.
Okay, I am going to.
Oh, I hear him.
I barely hear him. Mm-hmm. What happened to your mic? Yeah.
I'm so glad this didn't happen legitimately during his argument. That would have been horrible. I don't know what's happening.
What about now? Am I back?
Better.
All right. Let it rip. I'm ready for my closing statements. Now, Vinny Mancuso gives the best Christmas presents.
You clearly have never celebrated Hanukkah with me, bro.
Well, you give me presents every damn week. You send me a cake in the mail. You come in, even hanging out with you is a present. So that's different. You don't count. You don't count. Like I said,
Wow, that's
you're otherworldly.
Dude, do you remember talking on the phone the very first time about the possibility of me coming to the dungeon? We talked for like
too much. This ain't no ESPN tell-all 30 for 30. I don't want to get into shit with an audience. I'm just saying, awesome. But go ahead. I'm just warning you. You know me. I like to keep. I'm half Italian. You know, I like to keep things under wraps.
All I said was that we talked for like 3.5 hours. I think I was painting the Criteria Dan closet. At that
you
time.
were fast friends. Yeah. You and me. Fast friends. And that's why you should vote for Brother Lomas. You should vote for Vinny Mancuso and Parker's Place, because Mara found her new favorite person in Manhattan Beach.
That's accurate.
I think that's just random.
Also, by the way, Fortress of Robbitude is the legitimate name of his new apartment.
And who doesn't want to see? Who doesn't want to see Harloff play Jesus in a community production of The Last Temptation of Christ? He's making a return to stand up. So he's obviously got time.
Well, is he playing? Because you've switched tacks here. Is he playing Christ in The Last Temptation of Christ, the Martin Scorsese film, or is he playing Christ in The Passion of the Christ, the Mel Gibson film, which is what you mentioned at first? One of them is about
interpretation.
Well, one of them is about
but I'll say this much,
doubt, and one of them is about Christ getting the snot beaten out of him.
Okay, what I like, Whitney, is him being in the Passion version where he gets dragged to the streets.
I see.
That's a tough movie to watch, by the way. I don't care what you believe in. That's a hard movie to watch.
My lab partner asked me to go see that with her, and I was like so wholeheartedly unprepared for how.
Why are we taking the eating Eucharist later? Like, why do I got to go see that movie? Be like, Bad Boys 2 is out. I want to laugh. I'm stoned. I'm in college. Jake, I rest my case.
What? Look, I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes for people to vote. The links are on the call to action Twitter.
And while you vote,
he's gone. Whitney, let's talk about Star Trek.
Oh, absolutely. I love Lower Decks. I think they're doing really, really good stuff. And it's such a change of pace after the garbage that is Star Trek Discovery and the even bigger garbage that is Picard. Those are such bad shows. But Lower Decks is really hitting it.
What did you think, though, about the teaser for Picard 2? Because I was really here for seeing Alice Krieg.
I mean, when you're doing cute references in something like Lower Decks, like they're kind of like throwaway gags that Trekkies would get, but you don't need to get them to understand the story. That's good stuff. When you're hinging the story on that kind of familiarity, that's just nostalgia, and that's way less interesting to me. Not interested in what's coming up with Picard. Luckily, at this moment, I'm doing this whole podcast where I get to talk about every episode of Next Generation, and that's my favorite one. So, yes. I mean, we're still on season 1, which is, seasons 1 and 2 are a little bit hit and miss, but yeah, we just did Hide and Q, and which is the one where Riker becomes a Q, and we get to do.
Oh, trust me, you're talking to somebody who has seen every episode of TNG at least 25 times. So Dan and I, our first conversation ever was about the merits of Barclay, and we talked for like 2.5 hours just about him. So.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Hi, buddy.
But yeah, we really get to delve into the philosophy of Next Generation. We've discovered that Next Generation was sort of like a make good for the original series. The original series, like, Roddenberry had these ideas about how great it would be to have an idealistic future. It was sort of optimistic, but at the same time, you still had, a lot of episodes about war. There was a hell of a lot of sexism in the show. I'm sorry, it's so much fun nerding out like this. And when we finally got to Next Generation, I think Gene Roddenberry had kind of drunk his own Kool-Aid and believed in sort of the idealism of the show. So he pushed it so much harder. He's like, no, this is a show about diplomacy, and it's about peace, and it's about pacifism, and F anybody who says different. So I appreciate that about Next Generation. It's giving me a hard sell on peace and pacifism and diplomacy. I love it.
Have you seen Star Trek Mason-Dixon line? Because, man, there are some real weird aliens that pop up in that one.
I'm going to give it one more minute for the polls. And
John,
then-
whatever it is you're on when you're watching Star Trek, I'd like to borrow some. That sounds awesome.
I'd like to do a watch along with you, pal. I think we'd have a fun time.
Okay,
We should
need
go
to
with
make
Star
him
Trek
watch.
1. Me and you watch
What?
Star Trek, the first generation, the part 1, the one from
So-
79. Was it released in
Okay.
79?
79, yeah.
Accurate? Thank you.
You
I
did
do
it.
know some things. Everybody
You
thinks
got-
I'm a fucking idiot. But anyways, we watched that one. And then we get through to the Borgs, the ones with the Ava DuVernay, wherever she pops in. We
Alice
just watch them
Kriege.
all and comment on them all, I think.
Okay, so we need to make him watch though one of my absolute favorite episodes of TNG, Sub Rosa, because I
God.
I have no shame about Dr. Crusher fucking a space lamp, and I'm so there for it.
A
So
space
we need to
lamp?
make Kaiser watch that. She has
Lamp.
sex with a space lamp that has
Come
a
on,
ghost
man.
in
I
it.
don't want to see that shit.
No,
I
it's
lived
so
I lived
good.
in San Diego for a while. I've been to Mexico. I seen what the fuck goes on. Like, I don't need to do none of that
What
shit.
does it have anything to do with Dr. Crusher and having sex with a
It's
space
apparently
lamp?
like some
Mexico.
sci-fi version of the Donkey Show is what you're talking about.
But why
It's
does it
a
have anything to do with
lamp.
Mexico?
Never mind. It's not here nor there. You vote for
Okay.
3 things in this world. Brother Lomas.
Hey, buddy.
Well,
You vote for the
speaking-
Parker's Place.
Are you good?
And I don't even... Oh, Vinny. I almost forgot what the hell
you
else I was
fucked your
arguing
own
for.
shit.
We vote
All right,
for
speaking-
it's the
Linda
great
Ronstadt. who,
Oh, you
Yes.
vote for Linda Ronstadt. CNN did a beautiful documentary about her.
I do have some bad news for you. Linda Ronstadt did retire in 2011,
Because of
and,
Parkinson's, pal.
mm.
It wasn't her choice.
and
Wow.
It's
And-
true.
and
I'm not
well-
joking.
No, I know. It's just-
and
We can joke
and,
about Parkinson's, which is fine. But as long as everybody goes and listens
Aha.
to Linda tomorrow.
Aha did reunite in 2015, I believe. They broke
Oh,
up a
wow.
couple times, but they're still out there in Norway doing their thing. So
Well, Linda
At least one of
I
those
was
is
Ronstadt gave
tempted
the
to go
Eagles.
with
Linda Ronstadt gave the Eagles their start. Now, there's a
Hmm.
few things you want to vote
well,
for.
you know,
tonight.
we all have
Okay.
we all have bad things we've done in our lives, and Linda Ronstadt has the Eagles.
I was really
Man,
tempted
when
to go
Joe
with
Walsh
Sparks
got there, though,
and,
Whitney, I agree with you. Until Joe Walsh got there, then it changed everything. Joe Walsh is the game changer. Jake, you're
All right.
I
wearing a
almost went
Tennessee
with the
Titans
Dick Around
jersey
by
tonight.
Sparks,
What are we
but
doing?
I
Not
think
Tennessee,
it's
it's North Carolina. Damn it.
Jake, we rest our
Right.
case.
Well,
And our
okay, I'm
statement.
glad you rested your case because we do have the results. All the polls are closed.
Mara, I feel bad, but I
Doesn't
don't mind
matter.
carrying the torch into the next round for the dungeon.
This does not matter that the poll, we didn't even need the polls. It was a unanimous decision all
Really?
across the board.
Oh, Sir
Wow.
Pounce won?
Our winner is Sir Pounce's owner,
Oh,
Mara Knopic, 3-0.
oh. I
Moving
got very
on.
lucky. It's
I
not
got
every
one
day
message
that
for
Kaiser
you
will do
people-
your
Hold
arguments
on,
for
Mara,
you.
Mara, last thing. You people call yourselves dungeon heads, and you voted for Paul the Walker Hauser over Vinny Mancuso? You should be ashamed of yourselves. You call yourselves dungeon heads?
Well,
Hey, Papa.
and that was your bit for the third time. I will.
I don't mind losing. I
I'm
don't
gonna go
mind
ahead-
losing.
I'm going to go
All
ahead.
the other ones. That one I should have won. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
I'm going to go ahead and give you the poll results anyway.
I don't care.
And I don't care if you care. In round one, John Hoey had 77% of the vote.
That's
to
good.
23
That's a good
Yeah,
vote.
John
Go with
Hoey,
John
that's all
Hoey.
you,
Go
man.
with John Hoey. Go with John Hoey. I agree.
Round two, Paul Walter Hauser had 73% of the votes.
Now I know
to
why Vinny wears
27 for
these. Very
Vinny.
comfortable.
Mhm.
Very comfortable.
And round three, Dungeon Del Rey had 71% to Parker's Place
Really?
was 29.
Huh. Bunch of non-Parker fans out there.
Oh, don't say that. There's lots of Parker fans out
That
there.
you'd vote for Parker's Place and you'd want to see us go into Mike and fucking Shannon's house pretending like we're exterminators and letting
Well-
bugs loose. That's the flip. That's the twist.
I am
And we
also,
steal the belts.
at this point, I am going to bring on our
Jeff
ghost
Snyder.
judge.
Jeff Snyder. If there's a god, it's Jeff Snyder.
If there's,
I want to be yelled at by him.
This person is a million times better than Jeff Snyder.
If I have a hard time, but well, yeah, all right.
I'll still
No, I
yell
get
at
it.
you, Kaiser.
You're right. You're right.
Miss Rachel
mean-
Silverstream.
I was ready to argue against you, Jake, but yeah, I can't really. She's one of my favorites in the world. I mean, come on.
Kaiser, I'm so disappointed in the fact that you didn't compare Brother Lomas to Paul Bearer building
Ooh,
like that would have been perfect.
yeah,
You
but
would've
Brother
got
Lomas
me
is
on
his
that
own
one.
guy. He's not Paul Bearer.
No,
Brother
but he's
Lomas has very good poetry. Very eloquent man.
Mr.
I'm a
Pounce
listen,
disagrees.
I'm going to tell you something. Anything that man puts out, I'm here for. I think
just
he's
saying,
a
if you had
great
made the
entertainer.
comparison and built it up like that, he could have found his Undertaker, his whatever you wanted to call it for religious reasons. It would
His
have been
zhuzh,
so
his
great. He
religious
could have
zhuzh, his
sold me on it.
Jesus zhuzh.
His
Yeah.
Jesus
Why you gotta
zhuzh?
make it about Jesus? Why you gotta bring Jesus into this?
Well, because that's life, and there's religion, and there's rice. That's how things go through. There's like some things are real. You can touch them. We can eat rice. We
Are you
can't eat
implying
Jesus.
that
You can pretend
Islam
to eat
and
Jesus.
Judaism are not
You can
real?
pretend to eat Jesus in the form of a circular wafer. You can really eat rice. I'm just saying.
Should I go? Like, I don't understand
I'm
what's
a big
happening.
I'll kick him
I'm
out.
trying to riff on this and think of like something to bounce off of, but I'm having a little trouble.
Well,
It's that time of the night.
Rachel,
you
what
know?
did you think about this match?
I mean, these are two of my favorite human beings on the face of the planet. Mara and I recently spent, within the last few months, we spent like 6 hours like giggling on Whit's couch, just like laughing our asses off while he was off in a training session. He was like, "You girls okay?" We're like, "We're great."
Yeah,
And
we
then
watched
Kaiser.
Predator, and then my RoboCop remake. We definitely made sure she saw the scene with all the exploding dicks.
Oh wow, that
It's
is
so
funny.
good.
Post that in the chat. Everybody who hasn't seen that needs to see the RoboCop exploding dicks video.
You really,
Literally
do.
one of the
It's
funniest
great.
fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
And then there's Kaiser, who is like the cousin I'm really excited to see at family reunions, because all we do is sit in the back and drink and argue. And then when things get too heated between us, we turn and laugh at the family.
Guarantee we never have the same conversation twice. So there's that part.
Ever. And I love them both. So this was fun. Thank you so much for having me on. I wish I could have competed, but schedule conflicts.
I wished you were Jeff Snyder, but whatever. It's all good.
Damn,
You want Jeff
dude.
over me?
That's
Go
so
fuck
mean.
yourself.
And I
No,
like
I had
Snyder,
to
but I
take
still
that
think
shot.
that's
I
mean.
love you to death. You're my favorite. I
love you too.
want to hug you for days. I just
Oh my
had to
God.
take that. When you leave that joke on the table, I have to take that shot. That's all. I can't help myself.
I know you really do love your low-hanging fruit, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, to be
And-
fair, it does tend to be the sweetest.
Okay. Now we're talking sense.
But yeah, no, I can't wait to see
All them
you guys. All of you
motherfuckers
guys.
who voted for Paul Walker Hauser over fucking Vinny, I'll never forgive them.
Hey Kaiser, say it with me.
I don't care if I lose the whole
Walter.
argument. That's the one I should have won.
Walter.
Paul Walter Hauser. I'm
There we go.
sorry.
Yay!
He was fucking great in that movie, the skating movie.
Hi, Tanya.
Oh my god, he was fucking beautiful in that movie. First of all, I love that movie. That's one of my favorite.
I
I've
love
seen
that
that movie twice.
I love that I, Tanya was described as the skating movie.
It was
I really-
so good.
I
dude.
really wish I
it
would
was
have left it open to see.
it was
who
my
had played
top
the
2 of the
Glory.
year for sure. Top 2. The performances across the board were metrically dope. I'm just gonna say that right now. And Paul
Metrically?
Walter, yes,
Well, diametrically, I think.
that too. Take your pick. Who's doing math tonight? I don't have flashcards.
I love maths.
Maths are fun.
I'm also a big fan of the metric system, by the way.
Tanya's
the
a
United
great
States
movie.
and Liberia are like the only two people that are still stuck in.
Is
the dark
Liberia a
ages.
country or a language? Just checking.
Liberia is a country on the
Okay.
coast of Western
That
Africa.
is a country.
Didn't know that.
Thank
Didn't know. That's
you.
why I asked. It sounded like a language.
It does actually kind of sound like a language. I'll give you that.
Thank you,
Hmm.
Mara.
What language do
Please.
they speak in Liberia?
I
Librarian
believe it's
or Borg.
believe it's Swahili, but I can look that up.
It's not Borg.
Did you say librarian?
Yeah, librarian or Borg. It's one or the other.
Guys, the things you learn when you come to the Call to Action channel.
The
Just we're
the second
educational
most the second most spoken English in Liberia is Kapele,
Mm.
but English is the official language of Liberia.
Oh, actually, that totally makes sense now that I think about it, given our history with Liberia.
Yeah,
to go, Conquerors, you
all,
won.
all of the colonialists were there for a little bit. Yeah,
A lot of diamond mines in Liberia.
So I mean, Schmoebates and all.
Oh yeah, how about that?
So coming up next week,
Damn, Mara, whose ass are you gonna whoop?
we have
Ooh,
Adam Witt
that's-
versus William Bibiani.
so
That
Mara,
would
that
be-
means you might be up against William Bibiani, and I don't envy you that.
No,
Nobody
Honestly,
does.
I would be thrilled. I mean, if I was going to lose to somebody, like William Bibiani is the guy to lose to. He's such a delight.
He is a fucking monster entertainer
I feel like that match
and a
between-
monster Schmoedown competitor. He's just Bibbs is larger than life. Dope.
I feel like
That
the
said,
match
he's going
between
against
Witt
my
and
homie
Bibbs is
Adam
gonna last
Witt,
forever,
which
though.
Adam Witt is larger than life. Dope, but
Yeah.
fucking Bibbs is the shit. Let's just say that much. Anybody who knows anything about anything knows Bibbs is
What-
dope.
I
What were
think
you
that-
saying, Rachel?
I think
I
that
think Witt can
that
take him. I
match-
think Witt can take him.
Jesus Christ, Kaiser!
No, please don't bring up Jesus again to Kaiser. I don't want to get down that rabbit hole again.
You know
I
what
think-
we
I
were
think
talking
the
about
match
was
between
I'm going
Bibbs
to play Judas. Bateman's going to play Pontius Pilate. Harloff is
What were you saying, Rachel?
I don't want to see anybody in a loincloth. I think that the match between Bibbs and Adam is going to be the funniest and the highest word content that has ever graced Schmoebates, because
I don't
those
know.
two can talk like crazy and they are so funny. It's going to be amazing.
It'll be hard to top Witt versus Preston. I will say that.
Ooh-wee.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a
That
tough
was
one.
that was a good
Tall order
one.
right there.
And then we got
Guys in the Schmoedown.
I just love hanging out with them and just like starting a conversation, then just sitting back and watching. Like, it's the best.
Paul
I think-
Preston, Adam Witt, two funniest guys in the Schmoedown. Yeah, I said it. You want to debate me on that?
No,
you can go
I-
F yourself.
I'm
With
with you.
sandpaper.
And then we got Video Drew, Mark Riley. That should be very interesting.
Speaking of librarians, Drew's going to play against Riley. Should be no fucking contest.
You never know.
That'll be
And then-
adorable.
Oh, I know.
Then we got Parker and Brendan Meyer.
It's
Again,
going to
no
be like the
contest.
battle of the widow babies of the Schmoedown.
The Battle of the Beebs.
No, it's gonna be basically. You remember in Raising Arizona, the guy who rode the motorcycle? What was his name?
Never
His
seen
name was really. You missed the greatest family movie comedy of all time. His name was Leonard Smalls, and he's played by a guy named Tex Cobb. That's gonna be Parker, and then the kid is gonna be like Paddington Bear, and he's gonna get ran over.
But everybody loves Paddington Bear.
And
Yeah,
Paddington
what
knows
the
to look twice
fuck
before
was
crossing the
that?
street.
Even the motorcycle punk from Raising Arizona would be so moved, so touched
He did have baby
by the
shoes
honesty
on
and the
those.
purity of Paddington Bear.
Patty,
He would
Bless you,
stop.
Witney Seibold, for bringing that enlightened point of view. I only see the dark. I need friends like you in life that show me the light. That's why you're in our dungeon.
Yeah,
you know what I
we'll,
mean?
we'll,
Like,
we'll cuddle up. We'll have some nice cocoa, and we'll watch.
you have you have a great
film.
point of view, and you have a great
Mhm.
you have a great artistic ability, insight. That's why you're in the dungeon. That's why you got drafted. Like, well, we want to hang out with this guy. It's kind of like the Vinny conversation. Like, who are you going to sit down at the table with? Paul Walter Hauser in the cafeteria, or Vinny? You can go sit with Vinny. Who are you going to sit down with in the cafeteria? Witney Seibold, or I don't know. I don't
Jeff
want to take a
Snyder.
shot at anybody. No, I like Jeff Snyder. I want to take a shot at, but I'm just saying, you're the coolest guy in the room. That's why you're with us. We only want the funniest, coolest people in the room.
Well,
I didn't want to take a shot
got-
at anybody at your expense. That's all.
yeah, you got the wrong guy if you're looking for like funny and intelligent. But I
You
I
don't,
can.
but you don't get. You
I
you
can,
are
I
kind
can
of
watch
funny.
movies.
You're,
I can watch movies with you, and I can comment on
Whitney,
them, so
you're
it's-
our kind of funny. You're our kind of fucking dungeon. That's why we drafted you, man.
It's
Accurate.
a little bit funny. Okay.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for being here. Kaiser, I know you got to take off.
Hey, Papa.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
This was absolutely entertaining. Hopefully, I didn't fuck up my first hosting too bad.
you were
other
pretty
than
good, Jake. You were
I
pretty
did,
good.
I did give away the ghost.
I'm gonna give
judge
you good.
over
I'm gonna give
here.
you high marks. You wanna know why? Because you're mainly sober.
To be fair,
Yes.
though, there are two Rachels.
Listen, bitch. Stay sober on camera. If anyone can give you some advice in life,
Bro, I've been on camera with you like 100+ times. This is by far the
All right,
most
let's wrap
sober
this
I've
up.
been. Okay, John,
It's
I know
a
you
cat
got to
hair.
get out first. You got anything you want to plug? Where can the people find you? All that good stuff.
Goodbye.
Okay.
I think that's
All
my
right, all
favorite
right.
thing that anyone's ever done.
And the fucked up
I'm
thing
gonna
is I
steal that. I'm
already
gonna do
had
that
another
sometime.
overlay because I knew that was going to happen.
That's fair.
Mara, you got
Hi.
anything?
Yeah, sure.
Basement.
So this Saturday, 7 Central is going to be a very special part 1 of 2 birthday celebration for my co-host Trevor. Please show up for shenanigans. There will be 2 parts because there are a lot of dungeon people that were unavailable because there is a taping that day. So you will see mostly the dungeon people the following Saturday. It was a pleasure to be here. It was a pleasure to debate Kaiser, also the guy that gives me the best edibles when I come to town. So thank you very much, Kaiser, even though you're not here anymore. I look forward to debating either Adam or Bibbs. It will be a welcome surprise to have someone fight against me instead of accidentally make points for me. But yeah, it was a joy to see everybody. I can't wait to see everyone in person in December that I'm looking at on the screen right now. So
Yes.
thank you very much. I'm available on the internet.
And I still kind of miss ouch this megahertz, but I mean, I get why you had to change it.
It is a lot easier to be like, I'm at that Mara. Just,
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah. Whitney, what you got?
Oh gosh, what don't I have? I'm constantly recording my voice. If you like the way it sounds, good golly, go over to my podcasting network, which I run with one William Bibiani. It's called Critically Acclaimed, and we have, golly, pretty much a podcast a day where we review new films, we review Best Picture nominees, we are reviewing every episode of Star Trek, of every Star Trek in the correct order for all of our Patreon subscribers. We talk about Batman. We talk about films we just sort of discovered on streaming. Anything you want to hear us, we'll talk about that. I also have another podcast called All About Ovid. If you want to hear me talk about really deep cut art house crap, the streaming service Ovid is where to find that stuff. If you think the Criterion channel is way too commercial, you can go over to Ovid and see what we got there. And I do that with one B. Peterson over on their network called The Screen's Margins. So look up B. Peterson's The Screen's Margins. You can listen to All About Ovid. We've talked about Filipino epics that are 5.5 hours in length that are all about despair. Right up my alley. I love that kind of shit. So please listen to us talk. I'm everywhere. Contact me on social media. I'm very, very open.
All right. And probably my favorite person in all of this space.
No, I just talked.
Fair enough.
A+. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, the only one that can keep me in line when I'm completely shit-faced drunk, Rachel.
I disagree. I think that Dan and I did a very good job.
Yes,
I don't think people succeed. They just do their very best. And sometimes they succeed.
Rachel did actually force me to go to bed one night.
I did. I sent him to bed. I mom voiced him real bad. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at rmsilvestrini, which will be a lot more active in the coming months because I'm going to go work for 6-Man Cruises. So once I get breaks and stuff, I will be uploading photos and videos and all that stuff. I'm going to try and do some more Movies, Music, and Mayhem episodes recorded with some of the guests on the cruises. I don't know if I can yet, so fingers crossed. But before then, next Thursday, Jake Berlin and I have a massive love affair with the TV show Sex Education, and we are going to be doing a season 3 recap next Thursday. I don't know what time, but stay tuned to Twitter and we will update you all. I know I've been absent. Life has gotten real crazy, but I miss you guys and I love you and I'm so glad to be back. So yeah.
I do like that Jake Berlin.
I do. He's a good guy.
They do good stuff over on a certain point of view.
They do. They're good people. Good eggs over there.
And you said next Thursday? That's going to be?
Next Thursday. I don't know what time. I don't know what time.
I hope it's not 6:30 Pacific because I will be here with Bibiani and Wit to see who will be taking on Mara.
I believe it will be after their recap. So it'll probably be like 8 o'clock-ish, if not earlier. We'll early in the day or like later in the day. So, but again, follow me on Twitter.
All right. And you can find me here, apparently. I I pop up randomly on other podcasts every now and then. I usually stay behind the scenes, but lately I've been kind of doing this a little bit to fill in. Next week, like I said, 6:30 PT, we have Adam Witt and William Bibiani with our co-host Adam Collins. I actually do not have a ghost judge yet. I will be working on that this weekend. Just want to say congratulations again to Mara. Thank you again to Whitney and Rachel and everybody who tuned in. We'll see you next time. And hope you come back.
Thank you. You're all wonderful.
Bye.
Later, y'all.